Kieran, a quiet week, normal week for you this week?
Yeah, in many ways it has been, to be honest. Of course, a 3-game week is never a quiet week, especially when you have away games, Saturday, Tuesday, both night games. That makes for a busy schedule anyway. But other than that, it's been pretty normal. It's been preparing now the last 2 days for what we have coming up on Saturday for a big game against Huddersfield, and it's one we're all looking forward to.
Is that the message you're trying to drill into your players, that just treat it as a normal week, a normal game, and try and shut out the noise that is surrounding what could be at the end of Saturday?
Yeah, for sure. That's what we've done, all season. That's what we've done last season. That's what's a big part of what has made us successful up until this point, has been focusing on ourselves, focusing on our performance. Of course, enjoying the journey that we've been on, enjoying the steps along the way. This is another one coming up tomorrow. But other than that, it's about focusing on the performance and getting our details right and trying to execute as well as we can. And, that'll be the decisive thing tomorrow.
I've just heard from Sam, and he was very relaxed, very grounded. He seemed using his experience in the game. But how important is someone like Sam with the younger players in the group? Because the feelings must be slightly different for them.
Yeah, very important. I think not just Sam, to be fair. Sam's a fantastic captain for us on and off the pitch. But he doesn't, hold the whole burden of leadership in the dressing room to himself. We've got some other fantastic, senior players in there. Shawnee Aluko for one to mention. But we also have, other players in the leadership group that, do a fantastic job of helping to manage the players, helping to advise the players on, how to deal with different situations. And, addressing issues if they come up. And, of course, tomorrow is a new situation for some, not for most. I think the majority of the players have been through, a very, very similar situation last year with us, to be honest. You have other players like Kiefer Moore in there who've been through, this type of race before as well. So we've got a really good balance in the dressing room and some fantastic senior players. And I have to say they set a really good tone for the young players, and the young players we have really fed off that and have shown a great maturity all season as well. So I'm sure we'll see that on display tomorrow.
Tomorrow at Portman Road, a place you've had so much success in the last couple of years in particular. What are you expecting from the fans and the atmosphere they could be creating tomorrow?
No, it'll be fantastic. I've got no doubt about that. I know they'll be right behind us. Of course, there'll be an extra special atmosphere around on top of the incredible home support we've had over the last couple of years. But, tomorrow we know there'll be a full stadium. There'll be people outside the stadium. They're all going to be 100% behind us. They're all going to be trying to help push us to, produce the performance that will get us what we want. So, we'll enjoy that. We'll try and use that to, and again, give us even more energy to put into the performance. We know that they give us a real boost. We know that the supporters can make it really difficult for the opposition teams come to Portman Road. And we know that they'll play their part, and that'll help us. And again, other than that, it'll be about us executing as well as we can when the whistle blows to do our jobs as to the highest level possible for 90 plus minutes.
22 years the club's been out of the top flight. What would it mean to you personally to be at the forefront of taking such a strong community club back into the top flight?
No, it would be a very proud achievement, no doubt about that. But again, honestly, it's not something I've thought about too much. It's it's been such a relentless season, 2 seasons. There's not been any time to stop and pause and reflect. There's not been any inclination to stop and pause and reflect because the championship is so competitive that you can't really afford to take your time and your energy away from the next challenge and the next game. So again, that's been the case right the way through. Hopefully, if we can do well tomorrow, then we can, be looking back on a season and an incredible achievement. But, we know we've got a really big game, a really tough game ahead of us tomorrow that we have to go and do well in to make that happen. So, to be honest, that's where all the focus is, and anything else can come after the game.
And if tomorrow works out how you want it to, will you then give yourself the time to look back and reflect on, quite simply, an incredible 2.5 years at the club?
Yeah, will. We did last year as well, to be fair. I think that's the only chance you will get. And if you can't take, a few days or a few hours or a few minutes or whatever it is to, be in peace with the people that you love or by yourself, and look back. If you can't do that at the end of the season, then you never will be able to. So yeah, look, we don't know if our season ends tomorrow. We hope that if tomorrow goes how we want it to, it does, and we'll be able to look back. But again, until that moment comes, it's full focus on the task ahead.
Finally, Kieran, for me, you could be a Premier League manager next season. How does that sound? Again,
not something I think about a lot, to be honest. It's I'm proud to manage this football club. It's a wonderful football club. Proud to lead the group every day. Proud to lead the club out in front of a full Portman Road every single week. So that's where my focus is. Of course, Premier League is the best league in the world, in my opinion. I've worked in it before. I've really enjoyed it, and I know it's well known that my career ambition is to be there, and that chimes well with the overall grand ambitions of the football club. So of course, that's where I think every club want to be, and Ipswich Town are no different. So it's our focus now to try and make that a reality.
Hi, Kieran, you're from BBC. We've been at a school this morning where there were nearly 600 children, most of them wearing your shirts. I mean, they were so excited ahead of tomorrow. For your players, I know they're professionals, but how hard is it for you as the manager to keep the players' feet on the ground ahead of tomorrow?
Honestly, I don't feel like it's been that different. Of course, you can't change the fact that there's extra interest around the game, and there's a massive incentive attached to the result of tomorrow. So you can't change that. There's no point stepping away from it. It's something that we have to enjoy and embrace. So we'll use that as a bonus in the performance. But in terms of having to work really, really hard to keep the group focused or to keep them on task and on message, honestly, that's not a big challenge with a group now. We've worked together for a good amount of time. We've been so consistent in how we've worked, how we communicate, how we behave, how we live day to day, that those habits are pretty ingrained. So by the time the game finishes on Tuesday night, of course, we enjoyed the moments on the pitch with the away supporters, but by the time we were back in the dressing room, the players were very much talking about Saturday and preparing and getting ready to deliver a 46th performance of the season. So I think the group are excellent at managing that at this stage, and as a staff we just try and be really consistent with our messages that have served us well to this point.
You can't escape the buzz in the town. Is there a sense of tension in the dressing room at all, or are they really relaxed?
No, they're relaxed and focused, to be honest. Has been the feeling right the way through the week, right the way through the last month, right the way through the season. We know that we're in a fantastic position through the fantastic work that everybody's done, and our goal has just been to play as well as we possibly can for 46 games, and we've done it for 45 games. We've not been perfect. We've had games or moments in games where we've not hit our best level, but that's normal. And I think over the course of 45 games so far, we've hit a very, very high level, and everyone's just focused and looking forward to trying to do that again tomorrow. Of course, the scale of the game, there'll be a little bit of extra adrenaline in the system, and that's normal. It was there on Tuesday night, it was there on Saturday night, it'll be there again tomorrow, and it's up to us to use that to our benefit, to use it as fuel to put into the performance, and I'm sure that's what the group's going to try and do tomorrow.
Can you sum up the scale of the achievement if you were to secure back-to-back promotions?
Honestly, I don't want to talk about the if. I understand the question, but it's been a discipline within the building of we're not allowing ourselves to spend too much time or energy thinking about the ifs, and the group's done that really well. So look, we know it would be an incredible achievement. We know what it would mean to the town, to the football club, to the players, to the staff, to everyone. And we're going to do our absolute best to try and make that happen, as we have done all year. There's no more we can do than that. We can't give more than 100%. The group have been given 100% day in, day out for a really long period of time, and showed an incredible consistent level of that. And that's all we can do tomorrow, and that's what we'll focus on, and that's what we'll give. And again, hopefully at 3 o'clock tomorrow will be the time to enjoy and think about what has gone before and what is to come. But honestly, we've really not allowed ourselves too many of those thoughts, and certainly not any real discussions in the club, or certainly nothing near the dressing room. It's all been about the journey that we're on and taking the next step.
I just wondered, I mean, you've achieved a lot with this club, with this group of players. How keen are you to see what more you can achieve with this group in the future?
Yeah, we want to keep improving the group and the club as much as we possibly can. Of course, we've travelled a long way in a short space of time, and the jumps have been hard, probably harder than what they look from the outside. It will look like, on 93 points with a game to go, that we've made the step up, easily, but it's certainly not been easy. It's took a lot of work, and we know that the next step from, if at the moment we're competing at the top end of the championship, we know that the next step is a huge one, and it would take an awful amount of work again. But that's exciting. It's exciting to be part of this project, to be leading the project, and we want to continue that. We want to keep helping these players go to another level. We want to keep giving the supporters, things to be proud and days and moments and seasons to enjoy, and we hope to continue to do that after tomorrow. Whatever happens tomorrow, whatever happens to the end of the season, it doesn't, there's no end point for Ipswich Town Football Club. It's another step on the journey. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. There's ambition from the owners to keep developing the football club, and that's what everyone wants to keep doing. So we hope to take a really big step in that tomorrow, but we know that there's lots of things still ahead to achieve.
You're aiming to end a special season on a high. Huddersfield are aiming to end a disappointing season on a high. There's a football match to be played, isn't it? And they've led 3-1 at Southampton, they've drawn at Leeds, they've won at West Brom. It's been a disappointing campaign from them, but they have their threats, they've had their moments.
No, for sure, every team in the Championship does, and Huddersfield certainly do. They give us an extremely tough game away from home early in the season, and we had to fight really hard to get a point out of the game, and as you said, they've done that against so many teams this season. The margins in the league are so tight, so tough. Every club will have their what ifs. I'm sure Huddersfield will sit and think, if they hadn't got the man sent off against Leeds, they probably would have went on to win that game. They'd be in a different position. Last weekend they had a couple of big chances later on against Birmingham. If they scored a second goal last week in a good performance, they're coming into the game still with a chance. They had a 99th minute penalty against Bristol City in their last away game after a very good performance that denied them 3 points that again would have a completely different complexion on tomorrow. So the division's relentlessly competitive. The margins between winning and losing are so small, and every team is competitive and almost competitive every weekend. So we don't expect anything different this weekend. We know we're going to be facing a motivated and proud group of players in football club, and they're going to want to finish their season on a high, on a big stage, and that's the team we've prepared for, and that's what we need to be ready for.
Can I go back to the scenes at Coventry on Tuesday night? The club seemed to capture real lovely moments with you and the supporters, and you were taking it all in. Just wondering how much that meant to you and how much it's kind of whet the appetite for what will await you on the way into the stadium this weekend.
Yeah, it was a fantastic moment, and I think you have to enjoy those moments. Of course, the professional and the conscientious bit of yourself immediately after Tuesday night as a manager. You're thinking about Saturday, and we know we've got another game to come, but it's so important to take little pauses to be able to enjoy the moments as they come along. Of course, Tuesday night will only be remembered as a fantastic night if we can execute and do our jobs well tomorrow, but in isolation it was a wonderful night, a big performance, a big victory, and one to enjoy by itself. So we enjoyed the experience, we enjoyed the result, we enjoyed the moment with the supporters. But now it's on to a new game, and try and both teams start from scratch, and we need to fight and play and earn another performance and another victory. So that's what we're going to look to do on Saturday. Of course, we know the support's going to be fantastic. Of course, we're going to get a good welcome and a great reception, and we know the supporters will be right behind us for the 90 minutes as they have been all season. And again, that's something to enjoy. It's something to use as fuel in the performance, but it's certainly not something that will distract us from the fact that it's a big match, and we have to get our details right and execute our plan well, as you do in every football match, to give yourself a chance to win. So we'll enjoy the support. I'm sure it will be a big help to us. but the focus will still be on doing our jobs as well as we can.
On executing that plan, has it been a good training week since? Are you players ready for this? I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's obviously not been, I don't know if you could call it a training week, because Saturday, Tuesday was a quick turnaround, and we've had to recover as a priority. So the couple of days after the game have been about that, but we've also had enough time to, of course, assess Huddersfield and look at the strengths that they bring and the qualities that they bring and the different ways they like to set up, and prepare our team as well as we possibly can, and as we have done for every game this season. So we've prepared well. The players are, despite the 2 games in quick succession, they're feeling fresh, full of energy, of course, as you're going to be going into the last game, and we look to primarily deliver a really good performance hopefully tomorrow, and if we do that, we know that greatly increases our chances of getting the result.
We're going to see a lot of blue and white here this weekend. I gather that is also the case back in Enniskillen as well. There'll be a certain hotel dedicated in it. How much does that mean to you as well? That family, friends back home are all going to be following this one as they have been, I'm sure, all season. Yeah,
I only just read that, so I didn't know about it. So they hadn't told me. But no, look, I've got Ipswich Town. I've now got a fantastic support in Ireland, that's for sure, and they've gained many new supporters in County Fermanagh. That's certain. So no, it's fantastic knowing that people are supporting you from not just Ireland, but messages from different clubs you've been at, different people you've come across. You really do feel that support from the wider football community, and also from my past, and it'll be the same for all the staff and all the players. Everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's worked hard to get to this point, whether it's a manager, a staff member, a player, or a supporter or a long-suffering supporter. We've all been on our journeys to get to this point, to arrive at this season. We've all been on our journeys this season, and everyone will be have plenty of well-wishers behind them tomorrow. So that's lovely to know. It's a great feeling. And again, adds to the motivation, but won't certainly distract from the priority of trying to do our jobs really, really well tomorrow.
How would you feel if you were to become the latest manager from Northern Ireland to manager the Premier League?
Yeah, it would be, of course, something to be very proud of. Again, I know my journey and the things I've been through, and the people who've helped me along the way, and family first and foremost. So. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It would be a great achievement and something that I hope to fulfil. So that's what we'll try and do. There's again not too much time to dream or think about what ifs. It's about doing, and that's what we've focused on, and that's what we'll try and do tomorrow, and try and make that become a reality, and of course make a lot of people very proud.
A bit of press conference admin that we normally have to go through. A health check on your players, Kieran. Wes Burns cramp at the end. Leif Davis has been struggling with his ankle. Harry Clark as well has been out. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, we got quite a few, as you do at this stage of the season, especially coming off 2 quick games. So we got a few knocks and a few niggles. We're going to assess 1 or 2 in the morning as well, to be honest, which can happen when you've got a quick turnaround. So no, we have no long-term injuries, no injuries that as we stand here today have immediately ruled anyone out of the squad, but we do have some players carrying some issues that might determine their involvement tomorrow, or how many minutes they can play. So we're gonna take all those decisions to Saturday morning, and make sure that the team we go out with has enough freshness and readiness to go and deliver.
The draw is obviously enough tomorrow, but I know that both Sam Horsey and yourself have only used the word victory during the time that we've been speaking to you. That is obviously the mindset going into this game, as it has been all season.
Of course it has. Look, I don't know what that would look like, to be honest, in terms of our messaging going into tomorrow, of how we've approached our away games our home games for the last 2.5 years, how we've approached every game really. We're certainly not going to veer from that tomorrow. Of course, we know that we have to defend well. We don't want to concede certainly unnecessary goals, and that'll give us the best chance to win the game. But also we have built a really clear identity that served us really, really well at home, and we're going to try and go and get that on the pitch tomorrow.
Just finally, it's been a busy old week. Hull away, Coventry away, night games, huge adrenaline and emotion into those games. How are you sleeping? How's this week been for you, kind of away from the training ground?
Yeah. I've slept all right, to be fair. The last 2 nights, I didn't sleep very well Tuesday night. I have to say it was a long journey back from Coventry. The roadworks on the A14 aren't particularly helpful at the moment, so it was very, very late when we arrived back. And of course, it was a game with a bit of extra adrenaline, so I didn't sleep fantastic on Tuesday night. But other than that, Wednesday and Thursday, I've been in a pretty normal flow and enjoyed the training sessions we've had, enjoyed the prep, and looking forward to tomorrow.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I think when I noticed Tuesday was the number of players who were there who weren't actually in the 20-man squad, which people like Janaway, I think, was actually recently had an operation. Players like that sticking with the squad, that shows the spirit within the squad, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's very important, and I think it's clear you don't achieve what we've achieved up until this point without a pretty special spirit in the group, and we certainly feel like we have that. It's why we wanted to travel with, for Hull and Coventry games especially, we travelled with pretty much every player, and everyone's had a big part in getting us to this point in the season. People have played different roles at different times. Different people have stepped up across the course of the season, and as I've said many times, even those who haven't played many minutes have had a big part to play. Some of the names that I've mentioned previously have had a big part to play, and then you get people like Kieran Slicker, maybe your third choice goalkeeper, hasn't played any minutes in the league, but has had a big part to play by how he trains and contributes every day. And it's important to recognise, and I know the supporters do realise it's not as easy from the outside, but I think the supporters know that you don't get to this point without a big squad and a big group of players all pulling in the same direction. We've certainly had that, so it was why it was nice to be able to share that with the whole group on Tuesday night, and hopefully we'll be able to share another good performance, another good victory on Saturday with the whole group. That the whole group will have had a part to play in different ways.
I mentioned to Sammy about Exeter experience last year. Again, is it something that's kind of holding them in the team in good stead ahead of a similar sort of game tomorrow?
I think so. It's not something we've spoken about a lot in relation to Exeter, but of course it's a really similar scenario, and the whole, so many things about our running has been very similar with, of course, the back-to-back away games that we've had Tuesday, Saturday, having that last season at similar time of the season as well. The challenge, the skill, the league positions of those teams we were up against bore a lot of similarities. So I think the experience that the group lived through last year has certainly been a benefit to us. I think the players have done a fantastic job in terms of their composure. I have to say, I know we haven't won all of our games, but for me, that's the challenge of the level, the difficulty of the level. I think the last, certainly since the Norwich game, I think Watford, Middlesbrough, Hull, Coventry, you look at the level of those teams, where they were last year, the scale of the challenge. I think our performances, the bravery of our performances across those 4 games has been fantastic, really, and deservedly went unbeaten through that stretch, and probably realistically could have won another couple of the games. So I think the way the boys have handled themselves, the way they've handled the running has been fantastic. Different challenge tomorrow, of course, with it being the last league game, but we've got some good characters in there. We've got some strong shared memories and some strong shared beliefs, and we'll hopefully utilise those to our benefit tomorrow.
And Brett Johnson and Mark Ashton have the last couple of years gone on record that if it's Town get promoted to the Premier League, they'll have Ipswich Town tattoos. Any ink?
No.
Any McKenna on?
No ink on my arm, thank you.
Thanks a lot, all the best.
Thank you.
Hi, Nick. Whatever happens tomorrow, could you sum up the rate of change here in the last 2.5 years? I mean, I know it's been a massive effort, not just from your department, but from all over the club. Obviously, things have changed around the training ground, around the stadium. It's going to be a new training ground, hopefully, and the infrastructure shifted a lot, everything around the club. Does it feel like the same club that you walked into?
It does, and I think in a nice way, to be honest, because a football club is primarily the people, and you come in here today and there's the large majority of the same staff who were here 2.5 years ago. Staff have been here for years, decades. Some fantastic people working at the football club. a fantastic community spirit around the football club, not just the training ground, but at the stadium and in the town. And I think that that was in place, already, of course. Bringing all that together, giving them a team to get behind and to be proud of, and setting and establishing some things in the environment that would make us elite. That's been the process over the last couple of years. Of course, developing the infrastructure has been and will continue to be a massive part of the redevelopment of the football club. But I think the essence of the football club, the history, the tradition, the family feel, the fantastic community spirit, the sense of togetherness, or the sense of, maybe I should say, the strong passion and love for the football club from the people that you encounter here. I think that's been in place. That's just been fostered over the last 2.5 years, and I think it's why, to me and to so many people, I think it will feel, very similar. Just hopefully we've all progressed and moved forward together.
I know you've had a promotion already, of course, and you're very committed to the processes that you have in place, but you've also worked with some very high-profile people before, as everyone knows. Has the phone on at all this week with anyone giving you a tip or two on getting over the line, or have you had it only switched off? No,
lots of text messages, to be honest. I've got people who I'll certainly ring. I did have some good texts before the game on Tuesday that I found useful, so I'll keep those private. But yeah, of course, so many well-wishers from within the game. You come across so many good people in your journey in football, and many of them have been in touch. And I know, to be honest, that so many people in the wider football community, even unattached to Ipswich Town or myself, are wishing us well going into Saturday because of the journey that we've been on, because of the challenges that clubs face trying to make this step. Everyone, I think, appreciates how difficult it is. So we've had some fantastic support, and it's much appreciated.